I think, yeah. I think you put them in a certain position and they become submissive.
That me gonna be. If someone do that to me, I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
It's in the name, really. I act. Going off script. Hi!
You fell.
Abacadabra!
Abracadabra.
Welcome to another reaction video. Last week we did a conversation, a Let's Talk on Halal. It was very interesting.
Very gruesome.
And I got some great comments actually explaining the processes of Halal and why people only, Muslims only eat certain animals and not other ones. I find it really interesting. One of my followers, one of my subscribers left a link to Mercy Halal Islamic Slaughter. So this is going to give an even more sort of detailed version of what happens to these sheep in this case, how they're killed, and what makes the process halal instead of just a normal kind of slaughtering. So, should we dive in?
Please. Yes, bring it on.
Let's go.
I'm already scared to see it.
Yeah. Sheep. I love sheep.
Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته جميعا. God's blessings and mercy upon you, all my human brothers and sisters. Today I'm going to share with you a video, an amazing video of 2 parts, about the authentic Islamic slaughter procedure on lambs and goats. On the first video, we're going to illustrate the power of God's name as the only method of submission before slaughter. On the second video, we're going to show you the complete authentic Islamic slaughter procedure, only using God's name upon slaughter, exactly the same way that all the prophets have done for thousands of years. Abraham, Noah, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, peace upon all of them. Not using stun guns or hammers or any other equipments, electrical equipments, simply only using God's name upon slaughter.
And the knife.
Before we proceed, I would like to mention that all the scriptures, Torah, Bible, and Quran, has been preaching of one God. He is the only creator of all creations, and He is the one that worthy of being worshipped and thanked by all His creations. And He also created lambs and goats as a blessing for humans, for the purpose of food and clothing. The scriptures also preaches about humane treatment of animals. And as humans, we only have the right to slaughter them in God's name, to be mentioned before slaughter. God's name can be mentioned in different languages and it will have the same effect. You can say God's name in English, Arabic, Hebrew, French, Chinese. As long as the slaughterer have a strong faith in the word itself and of the Creator and mention it, it will have the same effect and the same submission effect of the animals. It's an amazing word and it will have the same effect in different languages. These animals are bilingual and they all know God's name when it's mentioned, no matter what language. And they always feel the heart of the slaughterer if he believes in that word or he doesn't. Once the belief is there and the faith is there and the word is mentioned, it's guaranteed effect and a guaranteed submission. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar.
Size of that fucking sheep. Donkey.
I love being there.
We're going to take these animals, run them inside as a group. We're not going to separate an animal from each other. Every animal, every creation would like to have a partner, except the Almighty Lord. So to really maintain these animals to be calm, you always have to make them travel with a group. You don't separate anyone from the other. Definitely not one by himself. That would really make him very tense. It has to be 2 or more, minimum. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the mamas, we're gonna bring him over here, and we're gonna make him submit on the ground over here.
بسم الله الذي لا يضر باسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. بسم الله الله أكبر. بسم الله الله أكبر. بسم الله الله أكبر.
What? The ship just turned. Not moving.
This is
You're
total
joking me. No one
submission.
touching the leg.
Total submission. This guy is ready for anything to be done to him, and he's not nervous, he's not resisting,
No.
he's in total
Cover
relaxation.
the eyes. It makes it
No
calm
panic hormones whatsoever.
with the ears.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's a new thing for me.
See, I let him go, he gets up.
I think. Yeah.
You want to do him?
I think you put them in a certain position and they become
that's me.
submissive.
That me gonna be. If someone do that to me, I'm gonna be.
It's
Yeah.
okay, baby.
Come again. Leave it like that.
Same reaction. They all react the same. The power of the word.
What?
They're more religious than most humans.
No, the sheep have more sense.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Look outside the window, what's going on.
Did you know that, Daniel? So we're like that.
No.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. You know.
What?
You
The
just
sheep
do like
were
that
religious.
and the ship just no. The ship just did nothing.
To be honest, I didn't, but it didn't. I did think about it. Like, why is it suddenly just very, very calm? But the way he's whispering to it there
بسم الله الله.
This
and,
man's
and,
special.
and covering the eyes is
That's
a
it.
lot of animals.
بسم الله الله أكبر.
If you cover their eyes with like a a band or whatever,
Total
their
submission.
stress levels go down.
This guy is amazing.
These guys had a little.
Yeah. But if you saw him take out the
Come up
knife
with
and
bigger
slit the
ranches.
throat, would you
So they're a
still
little bit wild. They're
would you
not
still
used
think
to
he's
all the
amazing?
touch
I don't
and
think you'd want to
handle
see
by
that.
humans.
Like, I wouldn't want to see
And
But with the animal, everyone
for
do.
them to turn
it. I
around
know,
and
yeah.
just
But
lay down
They
like
deliberately don't show that because
really in total
well, they
peace.
know people would what. Be like,
Answering the calling.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is
The
impressive.
power of the word
man.
gets
I-
clearer
I-
and clearer
I don't know.
I
after
would
you
agree
see
with that. And look at
more and more
the other
submit.
ones looking
Just
over
watching?
going, what's going on here?
Probably some of you are wondering by now about the Arabic words that I use that makes the animals submit the way they did. The first term we use, and this is really the authentic procedure, one of the terms of authentic procedure that is being mentioned in the scripture, is in the name of God the greatest, which is Bismillah Allahu Akbar. There's another prayer that I usually use, and it's my favorite prayer and my animal's favorite prayer. It says, Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa huwa as-sami'u al-alim. The beauty of this prayer really shows some of the power of the word itself. It says, in the name of God, who is with his name, no harm will come, neither in this earth nor in the skies. And he's the one that hears and listens, and he's the most knowledgeable. This is really a wonderful prayer. It really is very effective, and I would illustrate the power of it as we go on part 2 also.
That's me. See, he prayed. Say something until. Don't believe that.
Fucking sheep doesn't know what he's saying. Sheep doesn't understand English.
No, he's just covering the eyes. The moment when he covering the eyes, that's what put them down in it.
Yeah. sorry, like, but there's no way that fucking sheep knows what God is. You know what I mean? Of course, that's what he believes.
No, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's impressive.
The
you know.
technique, it's impressive.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, if you can cover the sheep eyes and then just come like that, I don't think you can do that.
But you see, he's covering the eyes, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
why,
the leg is still.
Why you do that? You know, doing that because it's going to make them less stressed. That fucking sheep is huge. It's so fucking big.
Are we gonna flip that one upside down? And beat the shit out of it.
In the auction, when we bought him from a rancher, it weighed over 300 pounds. And it's usually gonna weigh more now because he was fed and he's been having fun, eating alfalfa and everything. He's probably 10 pounds larger than what it was in the auction. I weigh 190 pounds.
Is he taking the big one out now?
So any dealing with this guy, he has to help out. Otherwise,
Looks like.
there's no chance anybody can really restrain him or force him to do anything that he doesn't want to do. He's gonna do exactly what he instantly
That's
wants
a
to do.
tip, isn't it?
So if this guy submits,
or you.
the power of the word is clear. This is a 300-pound animal. For me to drop him down on the floor to start submission, it's almost impossible for one person to do it. I'm gonna ask Abdul Wahid to help out for the initial submission, and then he's gonna withdraw and the animal's gonna respond by himself.
I will watch this. Gonna be a challenge.
Can he sleep as well?
God, that's the biggest sheep I've ever seen in my life.
Massive. Don't tell me they're gonna try to flip it over.
Weigh a lot. Seems to be once it's in that position, it stops. So before he starts praying, you know, it's already stopping. So if you put a sheep on its back, on its side, it must have an effect on it. Same as a cow.
I'm putting only a finger.
How the fuck do they do a
on the
cow?
ear.
You can't put a cow.
And this guy, if he wants to get up,
You're
I
gonna
don't
have
think
to just slit
anybody
the
is
cow's
capable
throat as it stands, isn't it?
to get him back down, except two people as strong as me and Abdul Wahid to be able to submit this animal on the floor. But now he's totally answering the calling, and he's happy with it. There's no breathing hard. If you know this, the lungs is not breathing hard. He's in total submission.
Well, there you go. I'm just going to cut it there.
Okay.
So what's your thoughts then on that?
Well, first, let me say first. I think from this video, I can see there is no effect in there. The camera is shit they use. Therefore, I mean, it's hard to edit. Yeah, I'm saying.
No, there's no effect.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say it's not
Yeah.
fake. It's not
No.
real.
It is real.
You know what I mean? So
Israel. It's in Israel. No, it's not. It's in
It's not like someone try to do this camera. There's only one camera, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how they gonna modify? You know what I mean? Or maybe give a tablet or something like that. I don't think so.
No.
I can notice that from since the moment he say the praying, and then the animal just follow what he's saying.
No, he didn't always say the prayer first, though. I noticed quite a lot of the time the animal is already in submission and then he starts to say the prayer. I've seen that once.
Yeah, I've noticed
So
that as well.
when the sheep is in that position, there's something about the sheep's brain that just kind of
Switches it off.
switches off. It's like a shark. If you turn a shark upside down, it's paralyzed. So there must be something. Obviously, that's not a shark. It's not a fish or anything. But you know, there must be something. I'd be interested to actually Google that and further go into that. But I have heard of animals going into submission, depending on what shape they're in. You know. So,
In that case,
Mm.
that mean that technique you just explained. I mean, easy to learn, isn't it?
yeah,
That can be learned. Why not?
yeah, and,
Big
and
company doing that way.
because they can't be arsed. No, they
It's too
don't-
much fiddling is the speed of the whole thing.
Yeah, they don't have time. You know, it's okay for this dude out in the middle of, you know, to do this, but I can't imagine halal all over the world doing it, everything like that. You
No,
know what I
they
mean?
just have machine for that as well. They hang the animal upside down and it goes through the blades. That's what's happening. I've seen that on one of the videos in the factories, how they do that.
So, and the other thing with the ears going over the eyes is I've heard of that before as well. Putting the animal in black is good for its stress levels as well, because it can't see anything. It's calm, you know.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's just how to say, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If it techniques or whatever it is, I do believe
Yeah.
that we animal communicate with different language. You know,
Okay. Yeah, I like.
to the god as well.
I you know, you might expect me to say about the religious thing, right? But I know, like, if you tell a dog to sit, it'll sit. You know, you can teach animals, how to take commands, and you know, that I believe animals are very connected with us, like in many different ways. But if you say a prayer in Arabic about a god that sheep doesn't know, anything about, then that's when it becomes funny to me. You know, it becomes a little bit like comedy. You know, like the sheep is. He said the sheep is more religious than most humans. The sheep doesn't give a fuck about God. The sheep is just happy and eating grass, and then 1 minute it's alive, and the next it's flipped over and.
That's how we
stabbed.
see, innit? In my opinion, that's how we see, but we don't know inside.
No, we don't. But you'd think people would have more respect for animals if they thought that they were aware of God. You know what I mean? But they don't.
How about you, Daniel?
No, I'm just mesmerized by the process, how he can contain the animal without actually any massive physical force being used and things like that, which is amazing,
Yeah.
So it's definitely much better way to go for the animal that way. Then definitely much more peaceful transition, I would say, than being in a battery blocks in a factory when they're queuing for the slaughter, one by one and things like that, which is extremely stressful, and they can see all the noise and all that kind of stuff going on, and the screaming of the one that has been slaughtered 5 minutes ago, and it's all the bolts that they shoot in the cows and stuff. I've seen how many times the bolts simply failed, and the animal was suffering immeasurable pain for no reason before it was actually finally put down after third or fourth shot, which was crazy, So yeah, that seems to be a little bit more humane, if that makes sense. But again, personally, I think we should stop killing everything on our fucking path just to feed ourselves, because there is another food sources on the planet that doesn't necessarily have to be as sentient beings, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, guys, another step along the road of our halal journey.
And then ask your
Yes, please get in the comments, guys. I'm sure you've got a lot to say about that. Let me know. Until the next time, we've been Triple Mix. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
wassalam.